certain gentleman called Rob Hogan walked in the door, and I said, "What's the scene?" And he said, I had a farm accident and I was in hospital, and as I was recovering, I got up and I started to walk down, and I was looking for a chair. I could never find a chair the right height. Now, Rob had pretty good knowledge of welding and cutting and metalwork and that sort of thing. So he thought, why don't I make something that I can adjust the height of a chair? So he made that and bought it out, and he really thought that was something. Well, yeah, it was. And at that stage, we were starting to develop fairly strongly. We had no agents, and I just said to him, "Well, Rob, I think you'd be far better and I'll supply you originally," sort of thing, of getting into the business. I can remember early meetings with him and Rebecca at home, sort of thing, and it was a hope situation, because just about every question I put to him, you know. He had no money, he had no sight, he was basic, sort of thing.
The first expo that I did actually was with Tom and Martin, and they were 12 and 14, I think. And Rob had made this first chair, which was a tub chair, and he was going up hard against a company whose chair I was selling. And they just had this chair that I'm going to say it was really agricultural, because it was agricultural. But you've got to start somewhere, right? And so here I am with my beautiful shiny chair that had been manufactured in Sydney, had all the bells and whistles. And I remember thinking, what are these guys doing? Like, seriously? And I love the family. What are you doing? And probably learned a really valuable lesson from that. I look back on that now, and I think, you know, there's a great saying that you don't have to do anything, you don't have to do everything perfectly, just do it, right? Just start something. And if you start it, who knows where it'll take you. So that chair that I was selling was manufactured by a company called K-Care, which Rob ended up buying. And so it sort of came full circle, really.
Manufacturing's obviously been a big part of Country Care Group over the years and the growth of Country Care. But the customer experience part of Country Care is really about creating a really nice retail environment, creating a nice environment where people can come and trial a range of different products. They can find a product that not only suits them as far as what it looks like and feels like, but it also fits them.
There were similarities between him and me, that we were explorers. This was an industry that was evolving, that technology was starting to provide better and more useful equipment, that there was an ageing population, and there was a growth in the style of occupational therapists. They were becoming more involved in equipment that were needed by people. So there were quite a few things that were coming together.
I've had many conversations with Rob and Tom and Marty about where the limitations are in our community, where the gaps are, and how we can work together to bridge those gaps, to bring what these people need into their lives, to be independent, to be safe, to live their best life. And they are always wanting to go above and beyond to reach those goals, to fill that gap. And that makes my job and the jobs of OTs in this region so much easier.
We have developed a very, very strong relationship with occupational therapists, to the extent that we now give lectures to them, to young aspiring OTs coming through, because it's a big part of it is the practicality of, you know, this type of shower head or chair or ramp or whatever.
We do a lot of training every year with our team. One that I particularly really like is the Words Matter training. It's not only about words matter because it's about business, it's actually words matter in life. So we do a lot of life training that certainly helps in the business, I hope that it helps some of our people as well outside of the business. It's not about selling product here. We are a solution-based company. We are offering solutions, and if we can find a solution that helps you improve your everyday life, that's exactly what we're here for.
You can't put a value on the importance of having your supplier invested in your community and the people in your community. And Rob and his family have exceeded expectations, have continued to raise the bar and, think beyond what the community even knows that they need.
We have NDIS ambassadors in every store. So if somebody's an NDIS participant and they just don't know what to do, come into the store and ask us. We have NDIS ambassadors that can help you through that journey, and they'll just guide you down the right path. They'll say, hey, maybe you need to see this health professional, maybe you need to do this, but they can just help you a little bit through that journey. So, we're pretty committed to that community involvement, that training to make sure that our customer base is really, really well looked after.
Kudos to the Hogan family because, they started with, on a wing and a prayer and built it into, I guess what it is today, which is an incredible business, but at the end of the day, for Rob, an amazing legacy to be imparting for his community, his family, his children. Very similar to my dad. They had a dream and went for it. And I think when you do something like that and it's come from a good place, it's almost impossible to fail.